Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. Myself, Rakhi Arora, and I will be teaching you the subject Basic Computer Engineering, and the code for this subject is BT205. Most of you are already aware of what is basically computer. In fact, many of the students have already studied about this subject, maybe in their 12th. But some of the student might be there which are new for this subject. So might be they are not having any idea related with basic computer engineering. So in today's lecture, we are just going to discuss about the overview of the subject. That means what is this subject all about and why do we need to study this subject? What is the importance of this subject from our future point of view? And in fact, we can say from our campus point of view. So moving forward, these are the outlines of our today's lecture that we are going to study. So first is the introduction of the subject. So of course, if you are studying any subject, that then you must be introduced about that subject. You should know that what that subject is all about. Then of course, what are the outcomes of that particular subject? That means after you have completed this particular subject, you have done all the units of this subject, then what are the various outcome that you will experience? Then next is the why study basic computer engineering, that is BCE. Why it is necessary for a student or for an engineering student to study about the basic computer engineering. We are going to discuss on this point. Then we are going to just get a glance of the overview of the syllabus, what all things we are going to cover in our syllabus, it just an overview of an each and every unit. Then of course we are going to relate this particular subject with some real life examples so that it will be very easier for you to grasp the knowledge. And finally, the learning outcomes after completion of this course, what all things you will finally learn, we are going to discuss about that. And finally, we are going to discuss about the various reference in textbooks that you can refer while studying about this subject. So first of all, introduction of the subject. As I already told you that the name of the subject is basic computer engineering. So you just got an idea that it is all about computers and we are just going to study about the basics of computer. Now what are basics of computer? So in this particular subject, first of all, you are going to study about the basics of computer. Basics of computer means what is an computer, then what are the various devices that we can use in computer, or what is the functioning of computer, who invented for the first computer. So in this subject, first we are going to discuss basics of computer so that the student can get just a little bit knowledge regarding this subject, or we can say little bit knowledge regarding the computers. Basically, if we talk about computers, so it is computer science, or if we talk about basic computer engineering, it is basically the study of what computers can do. Actually, we are not aware, we just use computers for our, say, for playing games or watching movies, or we can say listening music, but we haven't utilized computers so much. So in this subject you are going to study that what computers can do and the processes that make them function, what are the processes because of which our computer can function or give us the output. Now in this subject we can say it is extremely relevant in our daily lives, or in our school work or in our free time, because every time we use computers for our daily needs. Then the next thing that we are going to study in this subject is programming concept. So programming means, since there are multiple languages, and programming concept means how to solve any problem with the help of these languages. Now if we talk about languages, there are C, C++, Java, then we have Python, we have Android, but the programming language that we are going to cover in this subject is C++. That means C++ with some concept of OOPS also. OOPS is basically object oriented programming. When we are going to study about this subject in detail, then we are going to cover each and every aspect of the programming. Then we are also going to discuss about some of the networking concept. Networking means the connection of devices with each other so that they can just share data. So we are also going to study about the networking of the subject. networking, and then finally we are going to see about the DBMS. So here DBMS basically means database. So whatever we do, we need some data for it. So if we are having any kind of data, we also need storage for it, where we can store data. So DBMS is all about the storage of some kind of data, or we can say it is a database management system. Now these are the basic outcomes which we are going to study while learning about this course. So we can say like it is a good idea just to start with the basics of how computer and networks run. And so in the first unit, we will be covering about the first outcome of this subject is to understand the basic concept of computers, then what is operating system and what are the types of operating system. You all have read about operating system because you all are using smartphones, and smartphones, we have operating system, either if we talk about Android and if we are talking about iOS. So every smartphone has an operating system. So we have studied about the operating system or its functioning in the mobile, but in this subject we are going to study about the operating system in detail. Why operating system is needed, then what are the functionalities of operating system, what are the services that are provided by operating system. So we are going to cover the basic concept related with all these. Then of course, as I told you that in this particular subject we are going to study about the programming concept. So initially we will be studying about the basics of the programming, why we need programming, or what is the basic structure of any programming. Then moving forward, we are going to cover the important concepts of OOPS. OOPS basically means object oriented programming. Then of course, as I told you, we will be studying about various type of computer network and their ethics. So one of the subject outcome after reading this subject is to understand the basics of networking and the ethics that we can use or we should use while using any kind of computer networking. Then of course, as I told you, like database management system, so we will be studying about the various database management system that are available, why we use database management system, what can it be the architecture, and of course about the cloud computing. Now in our next slides we are going to discuss about the overview of the syllabus. So if we talk about the first unit, as I told you that initially many of the students are there, those who are not aware of computers. So in the first unit, we are just going to make students aware of what is computer, how to use it, what are the necessary parts of computer, or we can say components of computer. So the first topic that we will be discussing in the first unit will be introduction to computer. Of course, this particular topic also contain many subtopics which we will be covering when we will be studying about this particular subject. The next topic that we will be discussing about is introduction to operating system. As I told you that we know a little bit about operating system, but when we will be studying about this subject, we will just read or study about all the concepts of operating system in detail. Then of course, we will be studying about MS Word. You all are already aware of MS Word. You have been using it since we can say many years, or for many work you have been using MS Word. So we will have just a small recap of what is basically MS Word, why we need it, what types of data can be stored in MS Word. Then next thing that we will be reading about MS Excel. As I was telling you regarding the database, so in simple form, we can also create a database in Excel also. So we will be studying about the Excels, what all operations can be performed through Excel so that our task can become easier. Like for an example, you have an Excel sheet, and in that Excel sheet, there are marks of say 60 students, and you have to add all those marks. So Excel provides us some kinds of formulas through which it will be very easy for us to calculate the sum, average, to find the minimum, maximum, or what all operation we want to perform. So Excel provides us a small formulas through which we can just do all these operations. Next is PowerPoint. So of course, PowerPoint is also a very important tool of Microsoft Office, because only through this tool only we can easily represent what all we want to speak or what all we want to show. And PowerPoint of course also provides us many options through which we can make our presentation more interesting, or we can say it can be more efficient for us to just represent it. Then just like MS Excel, we will also study about MS Access. It is also a type of a database like Excel. MS Access also provides us many features, but I can say that what MS Access is provided, it is a little bit more than MS Excel. Now, of course, when we will be studying about the operating system, then we will be studying about the DOS. DOS means disk operating system. You all must be aware that DOS it is basically a command prompt, or it is a command based operating system. So in this unit, we will also be covering about the DOS. Now, if we talk about the second unit, so second unit, from second unit, we will be studying about the programming languages, or why we need any language, then what all types of languages are there, what is the basic structure that we can use in language. So as you can see, initially we will be studying about the algorithm. What is basically algorithm? Actually, what happens if any problem is given to you, we will not directly write a program for it, but in fact we will first create a small algorithm. And if our algorithm works properly, then we can easily implement it in any language of our use. So first we are going to discuss about algorithm. Then of course we are also going to discuss about the complexities that are related with algorithm. Actually there are two things that we have to keep in mind while designing any algorithm. First is basically the time required by any algorithm to complete its task, and second is the space required. So while studying about algorithm, we will also be discussing about the complexities. Then we will be discussing about the flow chart. So flow chart is nothing but it is just a pictorial representation of an algorithm. In algorithm, we are going to write each and every step, or algorithm we can say it is a procedure or step by step procedure. But in flow chart, we will be using various symbols, or we can say it is just a pictorial form of an algorithm only. And once we have designed our algorithm, then we can just implement it in any programming language. Now, next thing that we are going to study about programming language. So we will be considering two forms, that is POP and OOP. POP is basically procedure oriented programming, and OOP is object oriented programming. So more we will be focusing on OOP. We will be studying about POP also, that means procedure oriented programming, and the language which support POP is C, and the language which support OOP is basically C++. So we will be discussing about POP also, but in detail we will be discussing about the object oriented programming, what are the concepts. And of course, as I told you that the C++ language supports object oriented programming. So in this unit only we are going to study about the introduction of C++. While studying about the introduction, we will be studying what is basically C++, what is the structure, what all things we have to keep in mind while writing any program in C++. So there are many things which when we will be just switching over this top particular unit, then we can just do. And the things that we are going to discuss in this particular part is array and functions. Array and functions, these are the basic concepts which we use in any programming language. These can be used either in C and C++. So moving to the third unit. Third unit is all about the object oriented programming. Actually, in the previous unit, we have just discussed the basic concepts that are related with programming, or how to write a basic program. But as I told you that in our syllabus, we have to cover object oriented programming in detail. So in the third unit, we are going to discuss the various concepts that are related with or that are based on object oriented programming. So there are multiple concepts of object oriented programming, or we can say there are multiple properties. So the first thing that we are going to discuss in this lecture is all about classes and object. This is a new feature which was not present in C language. So first we are going to discuss about classes and object. Then of course after that we are going to discuss about constructors and destructors. Basically whenever we create any program or write any program, it needs some kind of memory for storage. So constructor basically helps to assign memory or allocate memory to the program, and when the program has completed its task, then with the help of destructor we can just deallocate the memory. So whenever a program needs memory, we use constructor. When it does not, or when the program has just finished its work, then we will be using destructors. Then we have inheritance. Inheritance basically means transferring the properties of one class to another class. If we relate inheritance with our real life, it is similar to similar like our parents, or we get some properties from our parents. So it is similar to inheritance only, because in inheritance also there will be one base class which will be transferring its properties to the derived class. Now that particular derived class can also derive any more number of classes depending upon the requirement. So it is inheritance basically. The next concept that we are going to discuss is polymorphism. Polymorphism means one name and many form. If we relate polymorphism to real world, then we can see that everybody may have two name, or we can say like one name will be of their school or college, and other name might be their parents just use at home. So although the person is same, but their names are different. So similar is polymorphism. Polymorphism means one name and many form. There will be many forms with one name. Next is data structure. We will be studying about the various types of data structures that are available, through which we can just store our data or represent our data in our required format. There are multiple types of data structure, like we have studied about the array in our previous slide. So array is also a kind of data structure. Other than this, we have stack, queues, linked lists, graphs, and trees. We will be discussing each and every concept in detail. Now the next unit is all about networking. So it is very we can say very interesting unit, because you might love while reading about networking, because you have been using computers in your schools. In schools there will be multiple computers, and all computers are connected with each other with the help of networking only. So there are multiple topologies through which we connect our computers, like we can use bus topology, star, hub, tree, mesh. So there are multiple topologies, and depending upon our requirement, we can just connect all the devices that are available with us in any given format, or according to any topology. Then of course, if we talk about networking, that means we are sending some kind of data, or we are receiving some kind of data. Then there must be some kind of measures or security measures that we should keep in mind while transferring our data, so that we can say our data should not get altered in transition, or we can say no hacker can just use our data or misinterpret it. So we will be talking about various kinds of network security threats which we should that we should avoid basically, or we can say like the virus, worms. We should use some kinds of software tools or hardware tools so that we can just secure our network. Then if we transfer our data from one device to another device, so there is some protocol, there are some rules through which we transfer our data. So these are the two models, OSI and TCP/IP model, which are used while transferring data from one end to another end. So here OSI basically stands for Open System Interconnection Model, and TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol Model. So these are the two models which we are going to discuss. Actually here OSI is just a reference model, but the actual implemented model is basically TCP/IP. Now in the next unit, we will be talking about the database and cloud computing. Now database, everybody knows that we have a collection of data or interrelated information. Then we must have some kind of space so that our data can be stored in there. Like if we just talk about your phone only, so your phone has RAM, we have RAM, and we have external storage also, like we use SD cards. So we use RAM and SD card just to store our data, or you can see in our phone there are two kinds of storage, internal and external. All those storage we just use to store our data. Similarly is with our database. Database is a kind of a tool or a software through which we are going to save some kind of data in that particular software. So multiple types of database tools are there. We will be discussing about it. And next and very important topic from research point of view is cloud computing, because nowadays very much work is being done in this particular field. Cloud computing is basically a storage, or we can say it is an virtual storage which we can't see but we have it, and all our data get stored in cloud storage. Now you all are aware that we use Facebook, and in Facebook we upload many number of pictures, and there are many posts where that all data get stored. They all get stored in a cloud of particular Facebook or particular application, whichever application we use. Whatever applications are there, they have their own cloud storage. What all data we either upload or download, they actually get stored in the cloud storage. Now if we talk normally about Google Drive, so Google Drive is also a kind of cloud storage. What all data you just make in your phone or store in your phone, it is just uploaded to your drive if you have like synchronized your phone. So what all Google Drives and we use, that is also a kind of a cloud storage which is virtual and it is very effective. Now if we are going to relate this particular subject with some real life example, so if we just talk about database, so collection of all the books titles that are there in your library management system, so that is basically a database only, because we have created a software by using any kind of programming language, and in the backend we have used some kind of the database in which all the details of our books have been stored. Then contacts on our phone, this is also a kind of storage, or we can say database. Then if we talk about Facebook, so Facebook, as I was telling you that Facebook also provides us cloud storage, so our data gets stored. Now if we just relate Facebook with networking, so of course it is a social networking site. Through Facebook we can be connected to multiple peoples. Then Amazon Prime is also a kind of a we can say it is a kind of a private cloud. Actually clouds are of three type: private, public and hybrid cloud. So Amazon Prime is also a kind of a private cloud. Then lab setup means, as I was telling you, that you have been working in your labs in your schools, so your lab may be set up in many ways. So what all topologies we are using, so in lab setup basically we will be using or implementing the concept of networking. Now if we talk about the learning outcomes, so after studying this particular subject you will be aware of the input and output devices. Initially you don't know about them, but after studying this subject you will be very much aware of what is basically an input device, what is an output device. Then of course basic terminologies that are used in computer programming. We will be focusing on C++ language, but initially we will be discussing about the various terminologies or iterations or loops that we use in computer programming, which are common to all programming language. Then of course we will be focusing on the C++ language. So we will learn how to write a program, how to compile, or how to debug a program. Debug basically means to finding out the errors from the program. If there are some errors, then we must rectify those errors so that our program can run easily. So of course we will be focusing on this. Then next is design program connecting decision structure, loops and functions. Of course after studying all these things, all the programming concept, we must be very familiar with all the decision structures, loops like for, while, do while, then functions. Then we will be able to find out the difference between the call by value and call by reference. These are basically the functions. Then of course we will also learn how to use the data structures. We have multiple data, then how to organize this data we will be using, or we will just learn how to use different data structure. And then of course, as I told you, that we will also learn how to create a database, then how to store data into a database, how to create a structure. Then we will also learn what is basically network, how networks are created, what all things that are there that we should keep in mind while designing any kind of network. Then these are the various reference and the textbooks then that you can refer. So first is this as Basic Computer Engineering, Silakari and Shukla. It is by Wiley Publication. It is very good book. If we talk about the language, then the language of this book is also very easy, and it will be very easier for you to understand the subject thoroughly from this book. Then for programming concept, you should use actually E. Bala Guru Swami. It is a very nice book through which you can easily understand the basic concept, and you can even learn programming very easily. Then for studying the operating system part, you can use Galvin. It is also the standard book for operating system. Then for computer network, if you want to study in detail about computer network, then you can read Andrew Tannenbaum. And you can also refer Forozan. Then for database management system, you can again study about the Korth. And for cloud computing, one book is there by the writer Kumar. It is also a Wiley publication. But in this particular book, Basic Computer Engineering by Silakari and Shukla, you will be having all the syllabus. That means this book is comprised of all those concepts like operating system, network, database, and cloud. Now, one thing that we should know that what are the basic reason why we should study this subject is like computers is basically part of everything that we do nowadays. Computers are very much familiar with each and everyone. Then we must be aware, or we must be enough we can say aware, so that we can use computer in an easy way. Then by using computer, we can easily solve the complex and challenging problems. So that is why also we should study this subject. Then computing also enables you to make a positive difference in the world. So these are the various reasons why you should study this subject. These are the references, and thank you. Have a nice day.